Hello, hello, welcome everyone. Welcome to another chat breakdown on EU. On this episode, I'm going to be very specific here. There are certain important things that I'm talking, and some of you guys are not taking serious. I want you guys to take everything I'm talking in this video very serious. Okay, starting this analysis, I'm going to start it on the daily time frame, right? Okay, looking at the daily time frame, you can clearly see that price is actually rejecting on this fair value gap, right? This fair value gap is found on the daily time frame, and it's a very strong key level. Okay, this key level, right, is our point of reference, right? Okay, also looking at the three candle, right, you can clearly see that you have candle number one, right, accumulation, and candle number two, the manipulation, and we expect candle number three to distribute, right? Okay, I always say this whenever I am bullish, right? My candle number one is always bearish, so take that into consideration. Okay, I don't care about candle number two, but candle number one is always bearish for a bullish CRT. Okay, okay. Right now, we are going to focus here. Now, I am actually looking for a key level in order to position myself on this particular CRT on the daily time frame. So, what I simply do is I go to the 4-hour time frame. Right, the first thing I do is to look for my 4-hour CRT. Right, the fact that I'm seeing looking for my 4-hour CRT is for me to position myself at a key time and at a key level, right? Okay, looking at the 4-hour time frame, the previous 4-hour candle. I'm not talking of the current 4-hour candle. The previous 4-hour candle actually was digging into this fair value gap. This fair value gap is a fair value gap on the 4-hour time frame. And looking at the 4-hour candle that I was currently looking at here, I was actually anticipating I was un- I was actually anticipating a daily sales because I didn't have a clean 4-hour candle. This was the 1 a.m. candle, right? I didn't have a clean 1 a.m. candle for me to position myself with a clean narrative for me to position myself using the if then principle. We get so the if then principle state that if we weak below, then we expect higher prices. If we close above, then we expect higher prices. Or if we close below, we expect lower prices. That is just simply what the if then principle is all about. So I'm not talking too much about that. What I was actually looking at was this fair value gap. So the moment I saw this fair value gap, my logic was to go to the 1-hour time frame and look for a model number one, since I wasn't getting a 4-hour classic candle. I just went me to the 1 hour time frame, right? Okay. When I went to the 1 hour time frame, right, I was looking for a model number one. So the model number one will guide me, will help me in order to position myself. And also this was an OTE, right? Because we had this market structure shift, right? We can call this our CIAD, CISD. We can call this our CISD, right? Because the reason why I'm calling this our CISD is because we actually got a market structure shift, right? We actually got a market structure shift, right? And that is actually a change of trend, and that is basically the change of trend. And whenever you have a change of trend, you have to be very careful to continue trading towards that direction, because the market have already changed direction, right? Okay, it's good as you guys are following up. When I got this CISD, this changed the state of delivery. I then actually got this bullish dealing range, right? This was this bullish dealing range because price took the high, the low, and the high of this of this range, right? And then created an expansion swing, right? After creating an expansion swing, I was then looking for a range profile or a retracement profile. So I got this range profile above this fair value gap, and then price now created a manipulation profile with this 1 hour candle, and I call that the OTE because price made a deep retracement before manipulating. So the market now gave me an order block entry. Then I positioned myself now on the 1 hour time frame, and then took this trade. I took this trade with the intention of setting my stops below the candle that actually manipulated the lows, and I was now also positioning myself on the tip of the candle, because the market closed above the candle, right? Okay, let me say something here, and I want you guys to be very focused and to very focus on what I'm saying here. Even there's a reason for everything we do whenever we are actually taking entries, right? If it's that, I want to make you guys understand when to use wicks for entries and when to use opens and closes for entries. The reason why I actually entered at the high of this candle, right, of this bearish candle, the high, right, the week, I entered at the week high, right. That was because the market closed above the week, above the candle, above the high of the candle. So the reason I actually entered was because of that. And then the second reason is when to enter, when you actually want to enter at the closing price. The thing is, the market don't have to close above the wicks. The market, if the market close above the body, above the opening price, you can just enter at the open. So that's just it. So I don't know if you guys have understand. If you are not understand, I'll make a separate video on it and I'll explain so that you guys can understand better. So you guys should focus on the video. So regardless, we are actually in drawdown. That is not actually 100% guaranteed that this trade is not going to be successful. The market is random, so we don't have to focus on the outcome. We need to embrace the process, fall in love with the process, and love the process as much as possible as we can. You get? So that's just our job to do as traders. You just have to fall in love with the process, fall in love with everything that has to do with trading. We don't have to fall in love with the outcome because the outcome is random. You don't have to fall in love with the outcome, because if you actually fall in love with the outcome, when you are having bad results, you are going to give up and you are going to break your trading rules. So the goal is for you to set your goals, to set your rules in order to have a very good process, not to have a very good result. The results are random. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. That is always the game. And then we have this particular range high, which we can actually target as our CRT high. That is the daily CRT high. And probably we are also trading below this weekly dealing range, right? And for that reason, I'm also looking for ways to position myself. No, I would like to stay on the daily time frame. That is too much analysis. So you can see on the daily time frame that our long-term drawn liquidity is this high here, this high is this high is this high is this high. So this is my major long-term drawn liquidity. So that trade is actually a swing position. I'm looking to swing that trade for as long as I can, so as to keep holding the trade, because this trade at least my goal is to actually hold this trade for a month, maybe weeks. Trying as much as possible. I want this trade to be successful. I'm counting a lot in this trade. This trade, I'm counting so much on this trade. Nevertheless, I'm in drawdown, but I'm counting so much on this trade. This is going to be one of my best trades this on 2026. So whenever I'm taking swing trades like this, I actually feel so happy. I don't care about this SL, but if that this trade goes on my favor, I'm actually gonna be in good profit. The profit is not my goal, but my goal is to actually have this particular setup. Once I see this type of setup, I'm so happy. I'm so so I'm also believing in myself, right, as a trader. So trading is just a mirror of you as a person. If you have bad habits, you always fuck up whenever you are doing your analysis and executing wrongly. You analyze where you execute wrongly, because you might just see small profit and cut. You might just enter and see drawdown and cut. You might just be feeling that the trade that you took is not going to be successful because you lose the previous one. So fear of not taking the trade is the worst fear when it comes to trading. So I do this video every time. I love you guys, and I try as much as possible to keep doing these videos repeatedly. I think I'm the most consistent channel on YouTube that does videos on Euro USD, and I know in the future to come I'm going to be doing more videos, and I'm going to build a very big family of Euro USD traders around the world. So you guys should enjoy the video. Thanks. Peace out. If you want to reach out to me, go to the description. You see my WhatsApp number. If you want to create your account, use the link in my description. Create your Xness account and fund, and you can make money with me.